That's why I keep it.
I
'Cause it
just
is
realized you have the
tiny.
wrong screen on. This is Mass Effect.
Oh, I did have Mass Effect on.
Yeah.
I had it set up for the show that, yeah.
What the fuck is the
I'm
5,000
not
gold
off
bit
center. Like, that
animation?
bad.
What are you talking about?
Sorry.
What the fuck is the
Who,
5,000?
We're
me?
live. Hi, everybody.
Are we live? Hi.
Yeah. Well,
You did not tell us
I
we
did.
were going
I
next.
said we
Heads
are,
up.
and then I did a countdown with my hands.
I
So everyone
noticed
knows.
none of these things.
Well, you know, listen. I can't be blamed for your ignorance. That's just how it
Yeah,
goes.
you can.
So what's up, everybody?
how America works?
Did you have a good week? Did y'all have a good week?
You
Work.
can ask us that question.
Okay, fine. I will tell you about my week.
Please do.
I want to tell you about how committed I am to you guys. I'm going to explain. Tonight, right now, as we speak, is the first night ever in over 2.5 years that my wife and I are alone. Because I have a child, and my child is spending the night at somebody else's house for the first time ever. And do you know what I'm choosing to do with my evening? Bye. No, I'm here.
I'm sure it's not the first time you've chosen to,
Yes.
knowledgeable
You
or
are
not,
correct. You are
chosen
correct.
D&D over sex.
Yes, 100%. You are correct. Of course, I've chosen D&D. D&D always comes first. So, anyways.
Why not just have sex in D&D and everybody wins?
So,
I think nobody wins with
Luca
that.
comes back, and now that he's an NPC, it's time
Hey,
to
that
start
Stambo
rolepllaying.
doesn't care if you're an NPC or not.
All right. So, anyways, that just means I get to roleplay the other side. You get to choose which
Oh,
side.
all
though.
right.
You get to
All
choose
right, I
which
get
side.
you.
So let's go. Last week, there was some stuff that went down. Stallbore was sad. You guys spent most of your time traveling to having conversations with one another, and then arriving at the Half Elves Island again. While over at that island, you had conversations with the leader of the Wind Whisperers, and more or less things kind of didn't go as well as you would hope. Like things, you went there positive. We have a gold coin. Things are going to work out pretty decently. What the fuck? And so it ended with they're still kind of working with you, and they're still kind of working with you. And while you guys are working together, you sorry, my brain just Ollie resubbed, and I saw myself doing that stupid. I was like, I gotta change that stupid. That's and it totally broke my brain. All right, so I think it's really bad. It should really be fixed. All right, so anyways, you guys were able to get aid to fly through the skies for many, many hours until
that's what
finally
we were doing.
you landed a crash landing in front of the half-orcs, one of their keeps that they have in the northernmost peninsula, to watch for bad guys. And literally, you guys just came crashing in. Ollie and what's his name there? Haldren are inside the water, inside of a bubble, and it's floating. Though, of course, displaced some of the water. Bellum and N tumbled onto the ground fairly gracefully. And I just realized you guys are on the wrong spots. And Kyrann smashed into the rocks and is kind of flat like a pancake, much like what happens in cartoons.
That's not what happened.
So, how are we picking this up for you guys? Again, they're just standing there. They have the crossbows pointed at you. Somebody was going to do something right as I think it was Stallbore was going to cast a spell or something.
No, I'm in a
as this
bubble.
happened. Or no, or maybe it was Kyrann. Somebody was going to do something right at that moment. Who was it?
I remember.
Usually we write it down if it actually was a real idea.
Yeah.
So it was probably
Yeah.
just.
So I'm gonna kill one of them.
Hogwash. No, you're not.
That's probably the best plan.
So I'm sorry. How do we approach this situation? And
So
somebody other than
I-
Kyrann speak first.
Yep, I have my bow on my back. So essentially, I'm going to take my bow off and hold it up, like not aiming it, holding it in one air, and be like, we've come to speak.
I'm gonna put my hand on like Bellum's shoulder. So Bellum, this is the place where piracy is still legal, and they're very ruthless, and they admire strength, and you're surrendering to them.
I turn. I said, have I let go of my weapon? Very quietly. If I wanted to pick them off, I could
You're
easily
certainly
pick
not
them
wielding
off.
it.
I said, have I let go of my weapon? Very quietly.
I just don't think this is the right way to go, like, approach the situation.
Let them shoot first. You can take a hit, can't you?
Yeah.
What if they have
Then
a
let-
fucking
Then
cannon?
let them shoot. My bow's still in the air. Then let them shoot first.
All right.
And I look up.
I'm
I
gonna
look at.
prepare an action to cast a spell of a crossbow bolt.
When you called that stuff out to them and then had your whispered conversation side by side, Bellum, what did you
Yep.
call, what language did you call it out in?
Orcish.
Okay, so
If they're half orcs, you said, right?
correct, they are half orcs.
Yep.
So you call that out to them as you just said, and then you guys have like a whispered conversation. That wasn't like a quick 2-second thing. That was as long as it took in real life. Plus maybe
absolutely,
an extra couple of seconds for dramatic pauses and the hushes and what. However, while you guys are having that conversation, the two of them up there also having their own conversation. It's not very whispered though, but you guys can't really hear it because you're too busy speaking to each other. They're just
Come on. I can overhear conversations, man. That's like my thing.
they're just loud. Oh, that is your thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's literally one of my
I don't know.
things.
Two things. Will make that roll because that is your thing. Aaron, your auto. This happened.
It was
to
fog
people.
I
cloud.
don't know what happened.
You just have to turn it off. Yeah. Ooh, critical hit.
Yes, I have only critical hit on these, which is pretty cool.
So you actually do overhear the conversation when one of them says to the other one, like, "We should kill him." No. Yeah, we should kill him. There was more than them than us. We got more down below. They flew here as clouds. So, they probably have big magics. So, remember the last time we pissed off some of the big magics? Oh, yeah.
Bellum just has like a slight like just chuckle, a little chuckle, and he looks at Kyrann and he goes, "I don't think they're gonna do anything.
So,
We did just fly in as big clouds. They're probably scared shitless."
the one that was trying to be threatening, that was like wanted to attack you guys, like really levels his crossbow out, like really takes his aim now that I have the conversation, looking down the sights and pointing it at Kyrann specifically, because you've got the bow out and clearly look like a warrior. Kyrann does not. And so pointing at Kyrann, not to mention the Lyrandar robes and stuff like that,
Yep.
the big old dragon mark, and says, "Why are you here?" And he says it in common.
I think he's talking to you, Kyrann.
I mean, I kind of raised an eyebrow at you because it was kind of your shtick.
No, I know. But you, Bellum turns to her and goes, "I mean, yes, we need their help, and yes, I'm the best person for the job. I don't really know who we
We
need
need
to
your
talk to."
support to take down Lyrandar, and I say that in Lhazaran.
They when you say that, one says, you want to speak?"
Yeah. To Micaiah, please.
The
Oh,
other,
that was her name, Micaiah.
the other one looks back and says, "Told you." And then
Micaiah.
he calls down and says, "You wait here. You wait here." And he starts like walking back in and into the ranger tower thing and down below. So as I described this thing before, it's like a pretty basic ranger tower. It goes up about 15 feet and has like a big platform up above. But when he comes down below, he doesn't just come to the bottom of the ranger tower. Like you can hear him going down inside the thing. And then you actually hear after he gets to the bottom level, a latch opens up and he starts calling down seemingly into the grounds beneath that and says, in Orcish. So if you guys understand Orcish, you can hear this. "Hey, we got company." No, not tunnels, not tunnels. This way. And then you start like hearing shuffling as people like you creaking of wood as they're making their way up and out of whatever hatch it was that he seemed to open.
I'm gonna take a step in front of Kyrann.
This whole while, what is Stalbor doing with Holdren? Holdren said,
We're pushing our bubble. You can walk in it like a hamster ball. The only way to the shore is this. We gotta be pushing the bubble to get to the shore. I assume you were aware of this, Scott, during this whole charade.
So, two things. One, Holdren says, "Smart thinking." And then he's like, "What's the plan from
Always.
here?" You explain the plan the way that you
Push. Well, we push.
He's like, "We would have to match pace."
I push.
He's like, "I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I'm not young." Gesturing to his much older self. I mean, clearly younger than you, but, human.
And I was a zombie for about 5 years, so I'm sure we'll be fine. And then I push, and then my +5 strength kicks in.
And I was like, it's like, no, so,
No,
so
I
he
mean,
goes
well,
flying up.
now that we're not drowning, I could dispel it, and we could swim to the shore, but that does pose its own problems.
Wet robes aren't pleasant, but they're also better than this. Can we heat it? Can we fill it with hot air and allow that to make it rise like a balloon?
I have no idea.
If I do that, will it cook you?
No, I'm made of hardy stuff.
He starts filling the bubble with very superheated air.
I cast frostbite on myself constantly.
It doesn't work, though that does make a lot of steam. It's steamy in there between you two. It doesn't work because it's a ball of force, not a balloon. So
That's what I thought, but Stanford was like, you know what, you gotta see. There's no way of knowing if you don't know.
So
Alright, when it doesn't work, I'm just like, okay, prepare to swim. 1, 3, 2.
And literally like perfect timing, splash into the water, and you guys swim away to the edge. Okay, so more people are coming up through the creaking wood and whatnot and happening. The whole while, N makes her way over to the two of you and is like, plan?
We're gonna talk to the pirates.
We're gonna try to talk to them, and if they attack, we will defend.
To these ones?
Well, no. We want to talk to, and I look at her again.
Micaiah.
Micaiah.
Rockface?
Yeah, we want to talk to her, but I feel like we can't just talk to her. And you've dealt with enough of this. You should know. You gotta go through the channels and shit.
These are your neighbors, after all.
And nods, and then starts like walking back towards Stalbor and Haldren. Okay. The rest of the pirates start coming out in rounds. What you see before you is predominantly half-orcs, but you actually do have a couple of orcs thrown in there, as they described, one of the original ones that were watching after you. You have a couple of orcs thrown in there, and even one very, very surly-looking dwarf. He's got a peg leg. He's missing an eye. But his beard is extremely well-maintained and well-kept. His hair is a fucking mess. You know, there's like seaweed in it and stuff like that. So they come out and come around and stand in front of you guys. All of them like looking pissed off. They're not like having an organized stance, not making like a semicircle around you. It's literally just kind of like they're looking at you and they're all kind of like made their way out and they're just standing there looking at you like, what's going to happen next? Like almost like they're waiting for you to entertain them.
Okay, so if they wait for a significant, like, 2 minutes, if they all come up just
I don't
looking.
wait 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, then she does something.
Take us to Micaiah.
The dwarf speaks up and he's like, why?
We have a proposition for her.
No, not you. Why don't we just kill them? And one of the other ones says, this is speaking back to him in the common tongue here, which is like a very broken kind of language that Bellum can barely understand.
I activate my gem.
Oh, okay. Stalwar, as he climbs up to the cliff's edge, can kind of understand a little bit of it because of your past, but obviously Kieran's the one that knows the language perfectly. So, so they turns together and says, they flew in here as clouds. And he's like, yeah? It's like...
He explains the whole thing again. Strong magic.
I'll kind of like agree
powerful
to like...
magic.
I'll nod to him and be like, you are the Cloud Reapers.
He's like, yeah. So, we can reave these clouds.
You could.
It's like, so we kill them and take their stuff? Well, the other one's like, no,
I mean, that's
no,
not
hold
how
on.
it's gonna work, but you can certainly try.
Why you come talk to Mikhail? Says the one that's trying to be reasonable.
The one reasonable guy.
I would love to.
He said why, and you say because I'd love to?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said, why don't you?
No, he said why do you want to?
Why? Well, if you haven't noticed, on your tiny little island, there is a giant storm raging outside, preventing you from reaching the mainland, and I intend to make that go away.
One of them said, Oh, one of the other ones, like Peanut Gallery one, says, "Is that why no raid lately?"
That's why no read lately.
Another one's like, "Oh." And so once you kind of like get this across to them, finally the one that's trying to be reasonable with you is like, okay, our job is kill all come to island.
Yeah.
But me gets idea that if we attack you, you would kill all of us.
It's true.
Yeah, Bellum just starts nodding, like, yeah, very good.
I might leave one of you alive.
I would leave you alive.
But if we just bring you to Mikhail, probably skin flayed from body. So we need sends Critter to send word.
That's fine. I like sit down with my bow in my lap and just start eating some rations, just like cross-legged right there, comfortable.
You can see he reaches down to the ground, and as he reaches his hand to the ground, what he does is when he reaches his hand into the ground over behind like a little bit of grass that happens to right there, he actually comes up with a squirrel in his hand. And so he speaks to the squirrel for a couple of moments and then holds his hand out, and the squirrel jumps down and starts running off somewhere into the tree line beyond. And he's like, you wait here. 2 days.
Sir?
2 days, huh? Jeez.
I mean, I don't really care how many people you bring. They'll all die, so go for it.
I send word that you speak
If
to
you
Mikhail.
attack us, I mean.
Oh. No. Me think that's
Can I do an insight check on that?
You go right ahead.
Do you need to?
I feel like it's necessary.
I don't know if we.
He's been pretty good so far, but that's real fucked. You know, I'm satisfied with the 18.
Yep. And you're also satisfied that he's being honest.
Okay, see, he's not gonna attack us. We're good.
I'm not really worried about him.
Yeah, I mean, if she doesn't like that we're here, and then she wants to bring an army to attack us, I mean, the only way we can really prove we're worthy probably is to kill all these people, and we don't want to kill all of them because we need them. You know, it's kind of like a catch-22.
We can kill a sizable amount.
Yeah, I mean, you just like, just don't kill. Only if they attack us, and don't kill that guy. He's been nice.
I make no promises.
He's done nothing wrong. Kyrann, he's literally only tried to help. The
Fine.
dwarf who wants
Fine.
to just kill us, go ahead, kill him.
Okay.
The first guard, go ahead and kill him if you have to get a message across. Only if they attack first.
Okay, I'm agreeing with you.
I understand that. I just feel like I need to really get my point across.
That's fair.
So, N makes your way over to the other two there and says, I think perhaps we should just let the two of them go in. And he's like speaking quietly to Stalbor. Just let the two of them go in for the talks. And we should kind of hang back. I'm thinking if we hang back and don't enter into the city, I can probably keep an eye on them a bit closer, and if something goes awry, I can lend you word, and you could probably storm into their aid. Unless you think it's important not to be there for her rescue, but, you know, rescue her from putting a boot in her mouth.
I was going to say that Kyrann does often need rescuing, but you are correct on that matter. Bellum, these are his people, apparently, he says, even though they have very little in common aside from a very distant blood relation that's dating back about 100 or so generations.
Kyrann says that, not Bellum.
Yeah, Kyrann says it, not Bellum.
Oh, well, then he'll
Also,
say that.
The leader is a dwarf. So.
I have no issue with waiting. What about you, Haldren?
Oh, honestly, every island we've stepped onto thus far, somebody has recognized me, and it's caused a lot of problems. It's probably best that I don't get noticed.
We'll set up a small camp somewhere out of sight. Should be easy enough. We'll let them do the talking. You let us know when one of them says something silly and they need help.
All right, so I'm going to stick with you until we separate from them, and then I'll break off from you, and I'm pretty sure you can figure the rest. All right.
So I'll start looking for somewhere that would be hard to find
Mm-hmm.
at a glance, like a little cave or nook or something to set up in.
So as you guys are kind of like settling in, the five of you, because you're going to be stuck here for 2 days no matter what anyways, at some point in time, N kind of gets Kieran's attention, like just like makes eye contact with Kyrann, and then like while like playing with his like mouth or whatever it is, like gives like a very obvious look, and then hand turns into 5 fingers and goes like that, and then gestures towards her with the so like you almost like a Spock kind of, you know what I mean, and then gestures towards her with the 2 fingers that are separated, and towards himself with the other 3, and then just nods.
Can I insight that?
You're welcome to try.
Welcome to try.
Ends being hopeful.
Ed knows what he's doing. It's fine.
Kyran's just like, something wrong? Need a bandage?
Is he okay?
And so the first day passes, and they actually keep to themselves. Most of them stay alert in the tower and watch over you that night, and like literally just kind of like watch you. A handful of them at one point in time. Each point in time, watching after you. Crossbows at the ready to attack you if need be. Occasionally there's conversation about most of them are sleeping. Maybe we can kill them while they're sleeping. You know, things like that. And but you survive the night. Nothing bad happens. By the middle of the next day, you actually have people like sitting down like in your camp, like, oh, that's some really good smelling food. Love to try some of that. You know, I'll give you some food too, and like trying to like make friendly with you.
Bellum actually would be pretty friendly.
Yeah.
He would share any food that we had. Like, yeah, here, try it. Maybe even go to a couple of the guys, be like, I have something really cool if you want to try this, and I give them like the tea. And it's like the last bit of the tea I have. It's like, drink some of this and walk into the woods over there. Be a great time.
They don't come back from the woods.
Perfect.
So,
2 of them down.
have you ever had like one of those friends or family members that when you invite them to your place, you're like, oh yeah, you know, fridge is yours, you know, just help yourself, and then like you regret it, maybe that day, maybe a couple months later, but you like really regret it. You regret it pretty quickly with them.
That's
like,
fun.
We're trying to be nice, but now you don't have food. You know what I mean? Like it's you regret it pretty quickly. I imagine Ollie's one of those people. Like, yeah, I'll have more. So anyways,
I am. Hang on.
so the second day passes, and eventually a message comes back. And this time when it comes back by a seagull, dropping it off over here. So later, a seagull comes down, lands on the same guy's shoulder, and speaks to him. And he responds, coming over to you guys and says, "Oh, I have received word. You may go and speak to Mikhail, but you will need a guide to bring you there safely through the woods."
Can it please be you?
Safely. No, I am in charge of this post. It is my job, but I will send you the safest escort you could ask for. And he does like a bird call, and a bird will come over and land on his shoulder, and it's an absolutely gorgeous tropical bird that exists in this region. Bellum would not be familiar with it. Stalbor, you know of them because you've heard of them, but you've never seen one before because you're not from this region. But it's actually a macaw is what we would know it in this world, but they're not very popular except for some of the southern Lhazaar Principality islands have them. So it's actually a macaw. And he says, this here is Ugh. Ugh is a symbol of peace here on the island. You carry Ugh with you, and no one will attack.
I quickly like shake my head yes. I look over at Kyrann. Don't hurt the bird no matter what, please.
Ugh.
Exactly. Don't hurt Ugh.
Stalbor tries not to laugh because he's mad at Kyrann, but he does.
Kieran's all like, I feel like chicken tonight. Chicken tonight.
No.
So,
If McCall does taste like chicken.
So
We'll find out.
He does take the macaw and leads it with his hand over and places it onto Bellum's shoulder.
Perfect.
And the macaw is actually very comfortable there with Bellum. And, we'll do the whole walk back and forth on your shoulders, no problem. If you happen to be like reaching out to like take a drink with water, we'll totally walk up your elbow and sit on your wrist. Like, can I put it down now? Like, occasionally we'll climb up on your head, but isn't happy because your head moves too much, and so like we'll dig its claws a few times and climb back off like a typical bird. And and you don't get the sense from this thing as you spend time with it that it's anything more than a typical bird. And so you guys make your way through the islands with this bird seemingly as your guide. He doesn't like as you go to leave his camp. He doesn't offer you any direction. He doesn't offer you any maps or anything like that. He just says you can go and the macaw will keep you safe. Sorry, the will keep you safe is what he says.
I say, sure. Let's say, about how far am I traveling?
You will know the way.
You do not know the way. All right, I will just go into the woods, just hoping to find what I'm looking for.
Kyrann will turn to Bellum and mention how much he hates woods.
That's fine. I love the woods, so between my love and your hatred, we're neutral ground.
So,
I don't think that's how that works, but okay.
That's exactly how it works.
So you guys start going into the woods, and this is going to be currently all 5 of you are going to go into the woods, or just the 2 of you and the other 3 hanging back.
What was N's plan? I follow N's plan.
Okay.
Yeah, and said for them to stay back. Yeah.
So yeah, N was saying for you guys to stay back here.
Then I will stay here. I got no issue with that.
So N leaves forward with the 2 of you, like kind of like nods to Stalbor and leads forward with Kyrann and Bellum, and then starts walking. And then as he's walking with you guys, we'll kind of like lean in to Bellum, figuring Kyrann already knows. Lean into Bellum and tell Bellum the plan that, when we get close, I will separate and keep an eye and send word if it's needed to Stalbor.
Oh, okay.
I'll
That's what you meant.
Yeah? Oh. It's kind of like shakes her head.
That's great and all, and then I look at the bird, and then I look at N, and then I look at the bird again, and then I look at N and go, they speak to a lot of things here, N. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure.
Do you speak bird?
I don't know. I look at the bird, it looks at me like caught red-handed.
I like how that's what Stalbor said the other day too. Like, I need you to talk to an animal. It's like, I don't talk to animals.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't what is it with you guys?
It's just that Stalbor and Kyrann have a very similar mindset on many things.
Yeah, that's fair. Just like, I'm just saying, just be aware.
So you guys start traveling through the woods. Now, you have a map. I forget, can we do maps? Can we do command map? Does that work? I believe it does.
Yeah, but do you want to know how detailed the map of this place is?
How detailed?
You get a splotch of crag.
Oh, that doesn't matter. But you can... I remember because the whole peninsula thing
Oh, what a weird...
that,
The splodge.
had transpired, right, Holly? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it looks like we're not very far away, but unless Port Crez isn't the actual settlement.
It's a good question. So the crag that the place that you're going to be going to is how is it you're trying to travel to get there, Bellum? Because you don't know where the port is. You don't know anything whatsoever. So your method of approach, are you looking to stick to the islands? Are you looking to walk straight through? You're given no direction whatsoever.
We can zap the bird and see what direction it goes in.
No, I'm looking to, like, I'll try to read. I'll try to read the bird because I can communicate with the bird. I can't speak bird, but I can communicate. Like, I'll start walking for like 20 minutes in one direction and kind of just feel to see if the bird, if I can sense, the bird doesn't think this is the right way or not, and if I get nothing.
Get nothing.
If I get nothing, do I at least? So I don't know anything about where I'm going.
You know that obviously it's a port, so it's going to be along the coast.
Yeah, then I would travel along the coast.
Okay, east or west? Because obviously
Where,
south.
so wait, where are we now? I'm sorry.
You know that you're in the northernmost
Northernmost.
peninsula, exactly. Don't worry about the map. What would Bellum do?
I thought no, that's literally what I'm trying to think. Bellum would probably go.
Remember, east puts you out towards like the open ocean. West puts you over towards like where the rest of the islands are.
Then east toward the ocean.
You say you travel towards the open ocean,
Yeah, I'd follow towards the open ocean.
and you're staying along the coastline.
Correct. I mean, I'll probably be in a bit from the coastline,
Sure.
but I'd be able to hear the ocean from where I'm traveling.
So one of the nifty things about Crag, the island, is that most of its coast is actually quite dangerous and difficult to approach. I wonder where it got its name from. So you do see like the most of the coast is in the areas that you can see is covered with these horrible like rocky outcrops, rocky cliff sides, so on and so forth. That would make it near impossible, if not completely so, for someone to moor their vessel and then come onto the lands. You do try to keep a little bit of distance from there and traveling through, listening to the crashing of water and whatnot. Try to keep that sounds there. But like I said, occasionally you do see the water. Moving on. So now you are traveling through this area, and you're traveling there for the better part of a day. Just trying to make your way along this coastal area. When at one point in time, you will come across an area where you see several bodies that are just strewn about dead, sitting in the middle of an area. Some of them look very fresh, and some of them look so old they're stripped to the bone, and their clothing is tattered and weathered and so on.
I look at Kyrann. It looks like something's food.
You think so?
Maybe not, but there's fresh bodies, there's old bodies picked dry.
Are the bodies picked dry, Scott?
They actually everything on the bodies like. So my apologies. Bodies picked dry of equipment. Like it looks like there's stuff
okay. I thought you meant
taken
like
off
flesh.
them. But some of the bodies are just skeleton, but their clothing is so weathered, so worn down that even without being stallbore, you can clearly tell it's been there for a long time. Whereas the fresh ones look very fresh, like a few days dead.
No, well then perhaps they just tried to come aboard the island and were killed. I don't know. Keep note of it. Clothing. Do I see like any distinct like are there houses, or is it just like complete random clothing?
You guys are both welcome to make me a history check, Kyrann, with a no, my apologies, investigation check. Kyrann with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Investigate gathering information about people. I have advantage. Does this count?
That's different. This is about corpse.
That's fine. Corpses are people. Look at Stalbor.
No, by old definition, they become objects. So, anyways, you guys are going there, searching over the bodies and everything, trying to find out that kind of information, if there's houses or anything like that involved, and you come to the conclusion, no houses, no specific nations. These seem to be just regular clothing. You know what I mean? Now, as for like the tattoos on the relatively fresh bodies, you can tell that these are Lhazaarian people. You know, like you can tell, like, oh, these tattoos are pretty. This is you, Kyrann. These tattoos are pretty familiar with those that would generally like hang around this port over here or that port over there.
What about races? Predominantly.
It's a blend, but predominantly human.
Okay. So this is just a intimidation.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
For the island. That's all.
Roll me perception checks, both of you.
Oh God.
So Bellum with a 16, exactly a 16. This is when you notice there is a little bit like there's always winds blowing through here. There's a sound of crashing waves. There's animals that scuffle through the brush and whatnot. So it's one of those things where you, know that there's things about. That's just normal. You're in the woods. However, you hear a shuffle that sounds too muffled, too intentionally reduced. You hear a strange creaking noise. You get the sense that you're not alone, that you're being watched.
I'll not tell Kyrann because she'll overreact. So I will just yeah, exactly. I'll just like hold up like a finger to Kyrann, not speaking, and I will listen more carefully to like which direction I might be coming in, and just like wait it out. If I'm gonna get attacked, I'm gonna get attacked. But
I will allow a reroll for that, sir.
Sure.
So with your 19, you're enhanced. This is not only are you listening, but you're kind of like allowing yourself to really hone in and listen. But now you can actually hear a bit more movement. Almost like either you couldn't hear it before, or now there just are more people moving. You realize that there's you can't tell how many, but there's definitely people surrounding this area. At least 4. You don't know how many, and you can feel that they're near. How near, you're not sure, but you can feel it, and then you see it. Off to the side, oh God, they're blended in very, very well. But you see a shape, you see a movement, you see a tiny little flash of something that must be metal. It comes from one of the areas off to the side. They must be camouflaged really well because you barely noticed it. It's confirmed there's people around you.
I take the bird and like you said it's pretty comfortable still, yeah? I put it on my fingers. You know, like if you like put your hand down when there's a bird on you, it'll like flap its wings. I do that to kind of just show like its colorful brightness of what it is. And I just do that a couple of times in their direction. So seemingly they know I know they're there.
From over your head, you hear. And looking up, you see sitting on a pretty decent sized branch above is a dwarven woman. She's actually kind of young for a dwarf. She's like maybe 100, maybe a little bit younger. But there's a dwarven woman sitting up there with one leg hanging off the branch, kind of lazily doing so. She had really good cover with where she was sitting up there. But you're not sure why you didn't see her before. You know you can definitely see her now. And she says, in a perfectly unaccented common. Sorry. In perfect common, but with a heavy accent to it. My apologies. She says, good. You are smart. The bird kept you safe here, but you heard them. Fine. You've earned yourself 2 more minutes of breathing. Don't waste them.
I look at Kyrann and I said, my people, huh?
I'm gonna cast a lightning bolt, not on her, but like right next to her face.
Sure.
Like intentionally miss.
Absolutely. I have to roll a check to see how she
Can I react to that?
Of course you
I
can.
got 2 minutes.
I'm gonna cast silence on Kyrann.
I don't know if you can react with a spell.
That's what I'm asking.
Well, he's saying you take your turn in combat, and he takes his turn in combat immediately afterwards. Okay?
That's fine.
She, so when she sees the lightning bolt coming at her, she actually reacts, like her eyes widen right as she realizes the spell's hurling her way. And she
I hope I knock her out of the tree.
She drops out of the tree. She like drops down, as like a dodge to get out of it. And she hits the ground. Actually, not terribly. Like she hits the ground hard, but like still on her feet, like a pretty good landing. And stands up like at the ready, drawing a weapon as she does so. But at the same time as she drops down and Kieran's getting ready to do her pose or whatever indignant look on her face or whatever word she's going to say, Bellum quickly throws his spell that ends right next to him, throwing her inside a silence. Kyrann, do you say anything right as this? Or did you throw the fire? You threw the lightning bolt. Did you intend to say anything?
Not until after she fell out.
So she falls out of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Do you say anything?
Actually, no, I'd probably just stare at her.
Okay.
I
Well,
would look at I would like give her a quick like a finger holding up like a wait a second.
Mhm.
I'd look at Kyrann. I would like you stay basically. I point at her. I point at the ground.
And I'll kind of like shrug and be like, "What?" And realize I can't talk.
I will walk.
I continue to yell a little bit in the void.
I will walk out of the silence and point like with my hand toward the dwarf and like down toward the ground to like have a conversation with her. So I'll see if that will diffuse the situation at all.
You're gonna roll me a persuasion because that's technically what you're doing. But in the meanwhile, does anybody else get this like funny feeling that Kyrann has taken this opportunity to finally out loud say everything she really thinks about Reich?
He's not here.
That's just been happening the whole time ever since he left the ship. Just a lot of bitching.
Come on. Not bad.
With a -1, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Are you happy with your 16?
I'm happy with my 16 for this, yes.
Okay. So she watches this whole thing play out. She casts a spell. Clearly, you cast a spell back at her. You do your hand motion. She's watching this play out. And so when you like more or less gesturing like let's speak, she says, "You got a minute and a half left."
Do I hear it? Is she in the silence?
No, you didn't put her in the silence, right?
Oh, okay. I didn't try to, but I'm making sure.
Yep.
Listen, we came here because I look at Kyrann. I look at her like her specifically her clothes. I say she wants to rage a bit of a war against Lhazaar and what they've been doing. She's better versed with talking about this than I am. She knows more about it than I am. I support her cause, and we thought we could come talk to you about joining the cause. She can be a piece of shit and does stuff like that when it's uncalled for. I believe I have 60 seconds left. Please allow her to speak, and I drop silence. Actually, can I drop silence?
It was pretty called for.
You heard none of that, of course.
Oh, I heard none of it. Oh,
Bubble of
Yeah,
silence.
you're in silence, bro.
gotcha.
But so he drops it, and so Kyrann, all of a sudden you can hear sound around.
I mean, I'll walk over.
Yeah, I'll say, Kyrann, please explain to her what's going on. I said, but before you do, let you know that this threatening tactic is nothing. If we wanted to, we could take all of you without a problem. And I'm going to try to intimidate.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm going to add an action point.
Ah. Don't forget about the new rule.
Yep. Nice. 24.
Okay. Kyrann, you can start speaking now.
We could kill all of you. But honestly, I think you deserve a chance to fight for your land, and I think you deserve a chance to kick Lhazaar back. Is that something you're interested in?
Oh, you've got 15 seconds.
Kyrann, perhaps show your medals that you like to play with so much.
I don't think they care much about those, but I will take them out and show them.
She sees them, like as you're pulling them out, she's like making solid eye contact with you. I have a timer coming. As she's what you call it? As you pull them out, like she makes eye contact with you. Then finally, like dragging her eyes, finally like pulling them away from solid contact with yours. She looks down and sees the medals there, and then she'll look up at you, almost like bored that she saw them, and she's like, "Fine. Let's talk then."
Yay.
You have 2 minutes.
Bellum laughs at that very loud, like, ah, ha, 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 Kyrann, you're funny. Kyrann.
A smirk goes across her face when she hears the response. She says, "It's been bad for business."
I imagine. Hard to raid the coast when you can't reach it.
There's coasts to raid, but now everybody's at home and everybody's on guard. So they're a little defended. And then there's those stupid merchants from the mainland. Idiots, all of them. Easy pickings, low hanging. It is hard. to make a living. So, you're offering to stop that stuff.
I am.
Okay.
I think you might actually like what I have in mind for you.
What's that?
Well, Kel is providing intel, and he, along with the blood sales, are going to help us attack the airships that flock around the area. What I would like you to do, something that they don't have, is simply a large enough fleet. Their ships are small and few in number. You have a much larger fleet. And I think that your talents would best be served attacking Port Verge directly.
You want me to kill the Blue? You want me to send them to their god?
What's that mean?
What do you mean? What does it mean?
Yes, I want you to wipe them out. We're not going to be able to reason with them. They're the ones who let Lyrandar into this hole. That's where they're making the base of operations.
She looks back to the group of people that are there, whoever they might be. She looks back to somebody back there and says, and this is why you don't mix the blood. Because when you mix the blood, they hate themselves and everyone else. She looks back and she's like, so, you're here to turn in your own kin. I benefit from it. I see. Sky's open, water's open, more to pillage. But, when this happens, everyone's still going to be guarded. Everyone's going to take their time. Trade's not going to open right away. And when it does, I'm sure people will be more ready for entrepreneurs coming and trying to make their money. I need something for the now. If I take Port Verge, I keep it. It becomes mine.
Okay.
It's my port.
You can have Port Verge.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Where is Port Verge again? Before I
Right
agree
in the
with
middle.
Before I...
Yeah, it is pretty much in the middle.
For those playing at home, Port Verge is the one with the God, Scott, what are they called? The dire sharks?
Correct. The ones that you just met with not that long ago, and he offered you information, and you were like, "No thanks."
He offers information without aid.
Well, yeah, he offered you without unsanctioned information.
Oh wait, so this is
wait,
their
no,
area?
not Port. No, where Scott? Where's the
Oh, that's Regal Port. My apologies.
Yeah, I was like,
it's
wait,
Regal
I'd be...
Port.
Port Verge was my apologies. Where the very strong relationship with your House Lyrandar is.
We haven't even gone to Port Verge because they're the ones who are working with Lyrandar.
Correct. So that's why they were saying kill the Blue, send them to the depths. So
Right. Okay, just making sure. Bellum would look at her and say, "Yes, you definitely benefit from the long term being a young dwarf as yourself, but I can understand wanting instant gratification." He looks at Kyrann. If this is the cost of making the world a better place, I suppose this is the cost. However, if this is all to go through and be good, we do need a ride. So that has to be a part of the deal.
Well, when are you planning on attacking Port Verge?
He looks at Kyrann kind of like, please don't say like tomorrow. like
We need time.
Okay.
We want to simultaneously attack the barricade first. We don't want to tip our hand, as someone said.
If we start attacking the barricade, they might start leaving the port to help defend it, and then it'll be a great opportunity to catch everyone off guard.
Or bringing more forces in.
Wait, so we attack barricade to open the port and then take the port while they're defending the barricade? Is that the plan?
Yes.
However, once you take the port and it is yours, that's not to say that you're done helping us. Agreed?
Yes. I understand. If you need to win for me to win, I get it.
Okay, just
I
making
get
sure.
it. Okay, but for this to work, I have a fleet. I have 6 of the most powerful ships that the Principalities have ever seen. And we can take on any fleets that we come across or take any ports that we choose to if we have all of the might together. And that's what you're asking. A task that's never been done. We have never flown the 6 sails side by side in one another. And you want that to happen. But you want that to happen for your fight. I'll join your fights. It helps me eventually. But to help me now, I will take that port, which has to happen at the same time that the 6 sails are in your fight. Can't do that if all 6 sails are in your fight, can I? I need more ships. If you want me to take Port Verge and hold the line, I need more ships. Luckily for us, there is a port nearby with people that nobody cares about. And we'll take the ships from them. We'll go to the last point. We'll kill the gray-skinned scum.
No. I'll hold up the coin that I have. We will go to last point, and we will work with Kel.
No. You see, that coin's the way in. That's how we get there. You see, we use that coin to slip into their midst and burn their flesh. I wonder if it burns the same way someone else's. Another's flesh chars. I wonder if theirs does.
Now
Well-
I understand that that's a plan. And trust me, I deal with lots of plans. That's not the plan. Let me tell you from experience, that's not gonna work. Yes, they are our ally in this fight. We need them to succeed. You might not like their kind. I have no issue with their kind, but we need them to succeed. Imagine how easy it is to take a port when we could take control of their officers, when they can become their officers.
We have a vested interest in Last Point. We need their spies. We need their intel. We cannot risk alienating them.
What they can specifically do.
You're boring me.
no
This
one
is
else
this
can.
is the I get it. This is fine. We'll spill different blood.
I mean, if there's a different port nearby.
Yeah, so Dreadwood Island. When the storm came up, there were many that were displaced because the storm didn't allow them to go home, and they were scared and they didn't have anywhere to go, and we took their ships. And well, they band together at Dreadwood Islands. There's a good number of them. They're hiding there amongst the trees, and they have a little cove that they've defended pretty well. So what we do is we use you, holding your coins and your smiles and your magics, and you will lull them into a sense of security. Then we smash through their ranks and kill all of them, keep a few slaves, and we will take their ships, and we will use those ships to take Port Verge, and we will take the ships of the inlands and use those against the... This is how we will do it. This is the plan.
I
This
look
is a
at
good
Kyrann.
plan.
I'm just like, this is what your future looks like if you don't be as good as you've been. Like, if you keep being as good as you've been, because this is what your future looks like if you keep being chaotic.
Excuse
Honestly,
me.
I think you should
were
just respect me
speaking
more
as
for who
though
I
these
am.
aren't good plans. I am standing before
And just be
you.
happy I'm not like this.
Do not make me give the order to kill the two of you.
You couldn't if you tried.
I already told you, if you tried to kill us, we would take you out instantly. And I tried to be intimidating again. Let's see.
You're not.
And I'm going to roll.
It's just not.
I had a 24 before.
But I
And now
will
I have
crackle
a
with
6 on
lightning.
top of that.
Karen, do you use one as well or no?
You
No.
should.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh, well, yeah, why not?
Just
We
do it.
have so many.
We have so many.
I shouldn't say that because I'm not gonna have many if I do. But why not? I don't think I've used them since you leveled.
So you get to a 23. And she's like, so she raises her hand like she's about to give the order and she drops it down. She's like, that is a trial that we can come across if we need to.
Fair enough. I don't think anything warrants needing to.
Why don't you like this plan?
We need all the help we can get. We don't need to create more enemies.
They're not going to help you. You're smashing their land.
Sure, they're not going to help us, but we don't need to create more enemies. They will help our enemies if we hurt them. Our enemies have enough people, if you don't know.
We can take their ships then.
I'm fine with taking all of their ships.
Oh.
Taking their ships.
Kyrann, do me a favor, a history with advantage. So Dreadwood Island is for the most part unpopulated island. At least it's believed to be completely unpopulated, though there are some rumors that there might be some that live there. It's believed to be so because the coast of Dreadwood Island is actually relatively pleasant. There's some crag areas. There's a lot of like nice beaches and stuff like that. However, there's these old sailors' tales that anybody that goes beyond the beaches themselves and goes into the island itself never returns. It's believed that it's haunted by ancient monsters and beasts and things that never sleep at night. And so nobody can go beyond the beaches because, once again, it's almost certain doom. So if there are people that are currently there with ships, it's very likely they're able to somehow survive off of their ships and maybe things that are easy to get along the line of the... But if you were to take their ships from them, that is almost certain doom anyways. You're more or less...
How many people are we talking? I would ask. How many people are even in this area?
Where?
The cove, the island with the ships.
Oh, I think 13 vessels. Merchant vessels, not war vessels, merchant vessels. But you see, we take these vessels and we fill it full of all the troops that we've got and all the scum and the scurvy and the scally. And we take them and we put them on these vessels and we're here, making our way to Port Verge, begging for the arms. Help us, we're weak. Help us, we're pathetic. Help us, we're from the mainland. And Port Verge would gladly take them because we'd make them look good with the stupid blues. But at the same time, would rob them because they're shits. But they don't realize exactly what it is that they're taking. We make a false idol, and we burst from the belly of it and kill from within.
How many of these ships?
It's a good plan. It's a great plan.
Would you need for? I'm sorry, that was terrible. It's a good plan. It's a great plan. It's the best plan. It's the only plan. How many of these ships would you need to do your plan?
All of them.
How many will you make it do with?
As many as you can get.
Okay. We're gonna go. We're gonna do this thing for you. You're not gonna be involved in it. But we will need transportation there.
I would love to give you my flagship for this. But one, I still assume you're lying. And if you are, I'll cut your throat and pull your tongue through it, and then use your corpses for throwing darts.
Good luck, bitch.
And two, they probably won't trust my ship coming across the island. So I'll have to give you a small one, a pinnace.
Fine. As long as it's big enough for me and my friends.
It's good for coast traveling, but you're our Lhazaar captain. Rumors are it's good enough for you too. You should be able to sail it across the deep sea between the islands, right?
Pride. Kyrann, your pride.
Can I make a check to see how hard that would be?
You know it's difficult, so you don't even need to make a check. You know, because pinnaces are usually for traveling through along shores for certain types, but usually a typical pinnace is for like up and down rivers. You know what I mean? But they are still sail ships.
Yeah.
So clearly she's referring to a seaworthy one, but going between islands, like there are two gaps that are going to be grand.
Yeah.
So go ahead, you say whatever you'd like. Like you're like I with the correct crew, I could make it work.
I have N.
Sure.
She's gonna love it.
So what do you say?
So I'll give like Anna a look and be like, yeah, you can do it.
You do that. You take my pinnace, and you sail the seas, and you come back with ships. I will not kill you. I will not slit your throat. I will not pull your tongue, and I will not use you for target practice. And your good-looking boyfriend here, I won't keep him either.
Which one is he pointing to?
Bellum blushes.
Oh. I think Kyrann shrugs. Like, ah.
Then we have an agreement. You will live for this day. And
Lovely.
And she turns and starts walking directly towards the shore. And as she's walking towards the shore, finally the others become visible to you. There are actually 6 full-blooded orcs that were with her, all of them with camo paint on their bodies that made them so they blended in well with trees and bushes and stuff like that, like very, very well. And so the 7 of them, with the 3 of you, go walking towards the shoreline over to the coast. And down in the coast area, there's like a little bit of a cave outcrop there. Nothing that goes like super deep in. It's just enough that you could actually, about 3/4, maybe 2/3, hide a ship that if somebody was like flying overhead, they wouldn't be able to see it. Or if you were on the coast, on the actual shore, would definitely not be able to see it because of the way the rock kind of overhangs. Leads down to the area, and you see there's a ship already tethered down there. And aboard the ship, there's already a dwarf that is sitting aboard the ship. Like, kind of like sitting there and, whittling something. Bored.
Are you going to be coming with us?
You say that to who?
The dwarf.
On the ship?
Mm-hmm.
So do you, like, go all the way up to the ship, or do you, like, call it from afar?
I go all the way up to the ship.
Okay. So you just kind of, like, call up and say, are you coming with us? Before they respond, she does, and she says, yes. This is my stupid son. He's Consider its gift. Perhaps you could keep him.
Do you have a name?
Yes. You said it to him?
Yeah.
The stupid son.
He says, yes, my name is Rock.
Hello, Rock.
Hello.
Okay, let's go.
You guys part ways with Mika, and you climb aboard the ship. She watches you as you get aboard the ship with the rest of them, and she does actually say to you, a quick little prayer that happens to be one that you're very, very, very familiar with. It's a prayer of luck in travel from the Devourer. But it's not a prayer that says like good fortune to you and may you have a safe travel. It's a prayer that says misfortune to your enemies and may they drown at sea.
I give the proper response.
And you guys can start heading out on the pinnace. Now looking at this thing again, it is a seaworthy pinnace and you're not too concerned about it, but it is some old school sailing on a bit of a skiff.
It looks kind of exciting, actually. Like, I would just say, and isn't this cute? Look at it.
No. You do realize this is going to take us at least a month each direction.
No, I didn't think about that.
Stalbor is... So you're going to wait that whole time? Or should we swing around and get him?
Oh, we were going to go.
Or should we swing around and get him?
I figured that's what we were doing, and
yeah,
I
that's
would
what
say
we're doing. Because he's on the yeah, we're not that far from them. We have to go like westward anyway, right?
Yeah. Okay, good. So you guys are going to swing around to grab Stalbor. Before we go any further, just do me a favor for the actual sailing to get around there. Just roll me your actual sailing check.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
I will action point that as
I
well.
think it was a beautiful roll.
Good, it'll do.
Okay.
Better.
So you go sailing around with the way, and Rock is not much help. As a matter of fact, Bellum is a better sailor than Rock is.
I kind of like Rock though.
And
I'm attached.
and you guys make your way with your 15 rounds the coastline. It's not very far. Round the coastline to get back to Stalbor. And when you guys get back around, then you kind of call out to Stalbor. It's easy for the two of them to come back to the ship and join you. So you can fast forward through that. However, at one point in time, one of the guys asks, like, so what's your names? To Stalbor and the other one.
My name is Stalbor. Grace Ride.
Haldren says, my name is Haldren Erbersek. And he says, I thought I knew that name.
I know, I'm very well known ever since I've been starting to help Kyrann. Getting into all sorts of trouble, you know, breaking into prisons, breaking out of prisons.
I don't know who you are.
Well, you must be mistaken.
No, but
What's your name?
My name is Thrusk.
I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are.
Have you done any good deeds? It means you should be known.
I once flayed a whole village. Somebody else says, no, you didn't. I tried. He got halfway through one guy and honestly vomited on top of the guy he was flaying and gave it up. You know,
if you weren't born on Crag, that would be seen as a more respectable thing than actually flaying the whole village to most people.
Like they go, it's just sad. Like if you're going to flay somebody,
you should really commit to if you're going to do
exactly.
it. Exactly.
And there was a bonding moment between Stalbor and the other guy.
Random dude.
And
so he gets, are these dwarves or half orcs?
These are a combination between orcs and half orcs. The only one dwarf was the one that was like, we should kill you anyways. And he's not really talking to you guys.
So I think it might be better if instead of sailing all the way to Dreadwood in this slow, tiny little ship, we go to Last Point and see if they'll give us a ship. Just abandon this little...
It's like fuck this mission. Okay. So you
no,
guys...
we just go to Last Point.
No. Go to Last Point, get a ship that we can...
No, like this I will prove my worthiness task.
No, we're
proving your worthiness by...
Yeah, we're gonna park at Last Point, we're gonna come back and get it, and then steal across.
No, exactly. Like you're cheating. It's brilliant. It's the pirate way to do it.
Plan.
And we're just gonna keep Rock downstairs so he doesn't even know the difference.
I don't think Rock's gonna realize it's happening.
And we take our first break. Bye-bye.
Well, it actually does help